This video is sponsored by Ellipal. Please keep in mind that I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Everything I'm sharing is my own opinion. It's my own research. I highly encourage you guys to go do your own research. With that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into it. First off, what is the Ellipal? Great question. It's a cold storage wallet. A hot wallet is something that you're going to be proactively using. You're going to be connecting it to websites, to the D apps. You're trying to transfer funds, all that kind of stuff. A cold storage wallet is more secure, and it's more often the mentality of kind of buy, hold, and get it out of sight, out of mind. You'll touch it at a later point in time. It's like a savings account almost. And so that higher level of security is something that's definitely in play here with the Ellipal Titan, which is the one that I'm going to be talking about in this video. And I will also be touching a little bit on the Ellipal Mnemonic Metal. And just so you guys know, I do actually have the Titan. It's here in my hand. I got the gold one. I think it looks really cool. They do come in two different colors, the black and that gold. And in case you're confused, if you get the order to come in and it shows that it's black on there, which is what happened with me, if you actually look down on the bottom, there's a little gold sticker that's there. And there's even a little barcode I can see that says gold -AD on there. So just to point that out for you guys, you should probably open the box, and more than likely it's there. You can look for the little sticker on the bottom. I am not new to cold storage wallets. In fact, I'll show you guys. I have the Ledger Nano X. I have used that in the past. The Ellipal Titan has some different features which I want to highlight for you guys in this video. So a lot of value that comes into play with a cold storage wallet. I've talked about VPNs in the past, and if you're trying to protect your cryptocurrencies, the next best thing to a cold storage wallet would be a paper wallet. But if you have a paper wallet, people look at that, boom, they instantly know what's going on. So this is kind of a layered system with the cold storage wallet, and I really like the design of what they've come up with. As far as for what comes in the box for the Ellipal Titan itself, of course, you're going to get your Ellipal Titan. You're also going to get a nice little rechargeable stand, and there's a slot on the top there for a micro SD chip, and you're going to need to have that because you want to update your software for this. Now, the only thing is that you will need to buy a couple extra pieces so that you can make sure that you can connect it to your computer, unless for some reason you already have something that can read the micro SD chip. You can't just plug this into your computer to make sure that you have the firmware update. So do make sure you take that step, guys. You will have to buy just a couple extra things. This also comes with a very tiny, no, sorry, that's actually separate. So this comes with the cable as well. This cable is what plugs in here for your charging port, and even has a nice little kickstand so you can be able to set everything up there, and it's got the Ellipal logo on it, which I think is really, really nifty. So that's as far as for what comes in the box for the Ellipal Titan. Now for what comes in the Mnemonic Metal box. This one right here, I actually have the Mnemonic Metal device. As you guys can see, I've got a gold one for that. And what's interesting about this is that it comes with a very, very tiny little screwdriver. And you need this because you have to remove the front plates. So the top and the bottom, I'll show you guys some images in just a little bit here. I've already got my mnemonic phrases put in there, so I'm not going to be opening up to show you personally. I will tell you guys, though, that what's nice is that it's got a little magnetism to it, so it does secure it. You guys can kind of see it. I'm trying to open it up there, and there's just a little bit of difficulty. So very, very sturdy device for sure. And besides the screwdriver, it even comes with a couple little tiny extra screws just in case you happen to lose those, because they are so small. It's pretty easy to get them lost. And visually, this is what it looks like on the inside. So you get these little silver plates. I believe they're made out of aluminum. This is one that I can show you just as an example. And they do have the letters, so A, B, C, etc. And you will notice if you look through them that it's not the same number of letters per each one. It's actually kind of varying, but it makes sense because you don't exactly have a lot of words that have the letter Z in them, right? So it does provide you with a certain number of them, and you have up to 24 seed phrases you could fit in there. In my circumstance, because I'm not dealing with just 4-letter words that were generated, some of these words are longer. I kind of had it extend out, but even though I'm dealing with less than a 24 seed phrase, and the words are longer, I still had plenty of extra space in the end. So I was still able to make it work. And the point is that when you're dealing with things like fire and paper don't exactly work well together, but fire and metal, you're much more likely that this stuff is going to survive. So if you're looking for something that's going to be protecting your mnemonic code, your seed phrase, right, your 12, your 24 seed phrase, that kind of a thing, then having the mnemonic metal is definitely a very smart move. And personally, I really like it. There's nothing electronic with it. It's just that little magnetism that closes there at the end. Otherwise, everything else, it's all made out of metal. I really like that itself. As far as for the Ellipal Titan, what you're going to need to do, you're going to need to download the Ellipal app. What's nice is that when you start up your Ellipal, and if you actually miss out on it, there's another setting that's inside there. You can still go back and get that little QR code. But you want to scan the QR code with your phone. That way then you are making sure that you are for sure getting the Ellipal app. And what's just so incredible about this is that when you go through the whole process, other people have tutorial videos. You can go check those out. I really want to highlight the value of what this Titan is, or the Ellipal itself, I should rather say. So it's incredible because you have a multi-layered system. So once you actually open up the Ellipal app, I went over to the Discover tab. I'll show you guys the assets here in a second, but it just takes a little bit of time for the Discover tab to load up, which is why I wanted to go ahead and start with that. So I know it's hard to read the icons, but the point here is that you use this to go to your websites, to go use like OpenSea or Rarible, PancakeSwap, that kind of a thing. And what's taking place here is that once you've synced your Ellipal with the Ellipal app on your phone, you're doing a signature. So maybe you've used a hot wallet before and it tells you to put in your PIN or your biometrics, things like that. That's great for security, for sure. What's happening here is that this device is completely offline. I know, you're kind of like, wait, what? How is that possible? So this is completely offline. It's using the QR code based system. And so when you go visit one of these apps and you're wanting to go ahead and send money, let's just use that as an example. And then it says, well, you need to sign the transaction. What's going to happen is it's going to pull up a QR code on your phone that you need to scan inside with your Ellipal. So your Ellipal is going to end up showing you a list of the different cryptocurrencies. And I'll just let you guys know right now, because I talked a lot about SafeMoon. You can add SafeMoon to your Ellipal wallet. It's under the BNB, the Binance Smart Chain. So just a little side note for anyone that's out there, or if anyone is technically looking up information about how to add other BNB, Binance Smart Chain based tokens, you can go inside and there's a little plus button, and then you can search for more on that token itself, primarily through the Ellipal app on your phone, and get that added in. And then things will be identified through your Ellipal as well when you sync everything up. And again, there's tutorial videos out there with everything. But anyways, so this will pull up a QR code. You then take your Ellipal, you would scan that. That does one confirmation. Then you actually have the opposite take place. After you do that first part, then a QR code will show up on the Ellipal device itself. You have to take your phone and scan that. Plus, you put in your password. So you set up a password when you make your different wallets. And if you end up messing up, or somebody else, let's say they got a hold of your Ellipal, right? And they try to get access to your wallet in any regard with that, if they don't know what your password is, after 10 failed attempts, it actually wipes the data. So all the wallets that were displayed on there are now gone. And I actually tested this. I was like, wait a second, is it going to wipe the entire device and I would just need a whole other Ellipal? So I failed intentionally on some of these. And what ends up happening is it just removes all the wallets that are there, and it takes you back as if you had just received your Ellipal for the first time. So you'd have to add a new wallet and go through the whole process. So you can still technically use the Ellipal. It just doesn't have any of the data on there anymore. It doesn't have the wallet information, and nobody can reattempt to do that. You'd have to start all over from scratch. So I really like that feature that you got, like the 2 steps for the QR codes, one of which is being prompted on your phone device. You have to scan, and then the opposite end, and then you also need to put in your password. So if you're looking to do things conventionally, that's why you would go the route of like a hot wallet if you're planning on using things a lot, because obviously this is extra steps. It could get quite annoying, but hey, are you trying to have convenience, or are you trying to have security of mind? And having that security of mind for those kinds of steps is where I think this really comes into play. Okay, So now let's actually talk about the features of the Ellipal Titan itself and why it is so valuable as just its intrinsic design. Well, I don't know if intrinsic is going to be the best word, but its actual design, right? This is made out of metal. It's not plastic. It's actually made out of metal. And as is noted on the back of the box, I'm just going to go ahead and touch on these because I think it explains it just well enough as it is, and then I can elaborate a little bit more. So it says you can secure and manage 40 coins and over 10,000 tokens, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and more. One-stop hub for financial management that can easily exchange, buy crypto, and staking. So it's air-gapped. Check this out. This is really cool. Keep remote attacks away. So there's no USB that's plugged into the Ellipal itself. You do see this right here. This is for the charging port of that back end that I was talking about for you guys. So that's the only USB. There's no USB plug into the actual Ellipal itself. There's no Wi-Fi connection. There's no NFC. That NFC is the design where it's like, you know, when you go to charge your phone and they got the little pad and you put this like right next to it and it starts charging it, that kind of a thing. It doesn't have that being picked up. To pick up the information signals, for example. There's no Bluetooth that's associated with this. So a Bluetooth feature is, for example, with the Ledger Nano X. So it has a pro to it, but it also has a con to it. But you can kind of see right there, they got the Bluetooth symbol. So a difference between the Ledger Nano X and with the Ellipal does not have any Bluetooth accessibility. And there's also no cellular connection. Again, it only deals with QR codes, and I think that's actually very, very brilliant. Complete network isolation, offline cold storage, built with no online components or ports, can never be connected to the internet. So again, this is completely offline, guys. It's just using the QR codes to interact with your phone device to do transaction signing. It has anti-disassembly and anti-tamper protection against physical and supply chain attacks. It cannot be disassembled without leaving serious damages because it is an all-metal integrated device. So if somebody was highly sophisticated and tried to get into this thing, they're probably going to end up damaging quite a bit of it because of how it's built. Chip will delete every data when it detects a breach, which I already touched on. It is dust and waterproof for hardware. It has trustless trust, full control, sign what you see. So Ellipal's QR codes are open data format. It is public, verifiable, and offline. Only QR codes are used to transfer data from the cold wallet. The QR code format is controlled, verifiable, and transparent. Supports importing mnemonics and private keys from other wallets. And so you can go through, again, there's plenty of tutorial videos that are out there on all of that. It's actually a pretty easy process, and being able to import more than one wallet. You don't even have to do just one wallet. Now, going back over to the Ellipal Mnemonic Metal, I do want to touch on that just a little bit more before we wrap up this video here. So this is made out of metal. It is very, very durable for sure. And as far as for its resiliency, check this out. I think this is incredible. It's fireproof, waterproof, mold-proof, insect-proof. It can survive on extreme conditions. You can hold on to it for a lifetime. I mean, it's made out of all metal, so it makes a lot of sense for what they're saying. It's easy to set up and use. It keeps your mnemonics easily readable for a very long time. It is light and pocket-sized, easy for you to take it around if necessary. This thing is very small by comparison. So just to show you guys, this is the size of the Ellipal Titan compared to this is a Samsung phone. So this is actually a little bit smaller. Definitely on the vertical length right there. It's a little bit smaller, and it's just a little bit, it's even more smaller when you're looking at it from a width standpoint. So there's just a little bit off to the side there. I don't know the exact dimensions for you guys, so I apologize. But yeah, it's smaller than my phone. The actual depth of it itself is just slightly more than that of my phone. So by comparison, just a little bit more depth, but definitely feels secure. It doesn't feel super heavy. And frankly, it feels quite nice in my hand. And then when you compare that to the size of the Mnemonic Metal, you can see that the Mnemonic Metal is almost as wide, but it's got quite a bit of a discrepancy there from the top as well. And just to show you that Mnemonic Metal in comparison to the phone itself, quite a bit different. And this is something very, very small, very convenient to fit inside of your pocket if you needed to end up taking that around with you. And Yeah, I really, really like this. So metal on the outside, metal on the inside with, I believe it's aluminum. It feels like it might have been aluminum. And it was quite easy too to get these little letters out. All you got to do is go on the back. I could use my finger and just push through that metal to pop out those pieces. So very well designed from a conveniency standpoint. It's not like I had to do something special and it's not all broken up on corners and things. It pops out. It's very, very clean, very clean. So great job with that. And lastly, with the mnemonics metal, they say you can easily put a lock on the mnemonic metal to add more security and privacy. And what they're referring to is right here. There's that little hole. So if you wanted to, you could put a little lock through that to make it even more secure. I know it does have that back end hinge system, and I'm sure the lock picking lawyer would be able to get through something like this pretty darn quickly. But, for most people, that would not be the case. And overall, I think this is more about the mentality that, like, if you had a fire, something like that, the environmental conditions, this is quite secure. And I like the fact that it's magnetized there in the end, which just helps it grasp itself a little bit more. So that is my review on the Ellipal Titan. I do have a referral link in the description. So if you guys are looking to get this, you are more than welcome and encouraged to go use that. That will actually give me a little bit of a kickback as well. I am already using the Ellipal Titan. I personally, outside of the sponsorship, my own personal opinion, I think it's really cool. I reached out to them. I talked with them because I found out about it and I looked into it a little bit more. And then here we are. So they sent me the Titan, and thank you very much, Ellipal, for doing that. And the mnemonic metal as well. Both of those you guys can find through their website. If you have some questions, feel free to leave them down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel, do not forget to hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up like button. It definitely helps us out with the YouTube search algorithm. Click the bell icon so you know whenever we go live. God bless, and I will see you in the next episode.